Welcome back to Roundup Reddit, where we dive into the most gripping stories from Reddit. Today's topic is incredibly serious and sensitive: false accusations. We'll explore three intense stories that shed light on the devastating impact these allegations can have on people's lives. Let's get started. Story 1: I was falsely accused, and it's ruining my life. I was falsely accused, and it's ruining my life. Burner account because of the nature of this story and content warning for SA. Almost 20 years ago, a friend I grew up with underage sister accused me of saying her. I did everything I could to prove my innocence. I cooperated fully with the police, giving them access to all of my phone records, online activity, and my computer. Did a polygraph. My roommates, I had 5, were questioned, and it was terrifying. Even being accused made me a pariah for quite a while in my town. I got incredibly sick from the stress. There was nothing to find, and eventually the police closed the investigation. Since then, she will regularly find a way to insert herself into my life. She contacts everyone I date with wild stories, claiming insane things, like my very poor family paid the mob to intimidate the police into not pressing charges, that I led a small cult, and that's why everyone took my side, or that I gave her an STD, which I don't have and have never had. Looks for anyone who tags me in anything or mentions me that isn't private and posts accusations. She'll disappear for a while and then pop up, creating huge problems. It's cost me many friends and relationships because a lot of people, rightfully, have a zero tolerance about that sort of thing. I can't prove it didn't happen any more than she can prove it did, but people tend to err on the side of the victim. I understand, and I don't hold it against them, but it's incredibly painful every time. I learned quickly that if I try to defend myself, it just gets used as proof that I'm lying. But if I say nothing, then it's proof that I'm hiding something. I have no idea why she accused me, but I have some speculation. Her brother had been arrested, and eventually convicted, for having a sexual relationship with an 11-year-old. A few times over the years, she's tried to convince other people they should be friends with her brother because they're friends with me. And one of her friends had a secret relationship with a guy who was 20+ years older than them, and he was arrested a couple months after I was accused. My accuser's cousin suspects that she had some kind of crush and wanted to look cool with her friends, got caught in a lie, and now just refuses to back down, hence why her story changes so often. None of those make sense to me because they just seem so arbitrary and cruel. I've tried talking to a defamation lawyer several times. They said I don't have a case because it hasn't cost me any money and it would be functionally impossible to win with how defamation cases work. The police told me that nothing she's doing is illegal. I have no recourse, no options, and it hurts incredibly bad. I remember babysitting her when she was in diapers, and to have someone who I looked at as a little sister do this. I've done nothing to retaliate in any way, apart from speaking to lawyers, and I've stayed as far away from her as possible. I just want to be left alone, and I don't understand why this is happening. I know this is a heavy subject, and I understand if it gets deleted. I apologize to anyone this triggers or causes undue stress towards. My friends are as confused about the situation, and I always feel like I'm being judged for something I have no control over. This first story highlights the long-term damage false accusations can cause, even when proven innocent. Now let's move on to another heartbreaking tale of betrayal and shattered trust. Story 2. I broke up with my fiancée after learning about her false SA allegations. Forgive the throwaway, but my main is known by everyone from work to family. I know what I'm doing is right, but the people I respect and whose opinion matters to me are saying differently, and it's messing with me. Me and Anna have been together for 5 years and engaged for 1. We were set to be married in October of this year. This woman is the love of my life. 2 weeks back, we had a couple of friends over at our house. One of the friends, Becky, was a high school friend of Anna. As the night went on, we obviously got a bit drunk, and the conversation went into all the weird stuff. The conversation landed on what is the deepest thing you regret. We all spoke, and Anna said her deepest regret is losing her virginity to her ex in high school, and not to me. I did know this information, so that didn't bother me. Becky, who was a bit more tipsy, suddenly spoke up and called Anna a liar. A bit taken aback, I asked Becky why she would say something like that. I didn't even finish my sentence before Anna stood up and asked Becky to speak in private, but Becky refused. Becky then said Anna's biggest regret is the false SA allegations she made against her ex. Apparently, in high school, her ex dumped her out of the blue one day without a reason. She got angry and made a false SA allegation against him. He was arrested, kicked out of school, and his family had to move states because his life was being threatened. He was also put on self-deleting watch as he did try to end it. After Anna found out he tried to delete himself, she confessed the allegation was fake. I actually got angry because Becky was attacking my fiance's character. I didn't believe a word until I looked at Anna with tears rolling down her face. I asked her if it was true, and Anna ran into the house and locked herself in our room. After that, the party was over, and everyone left as the situation was awkward at best. It took me 4 hours to get Anna to leave our room and talk to me. She basically confirmed that everything Becky said was true, with minor differences. I didn't know what to do in that moment, so I let her cry on my shoulder. She just kept asking me to forgive her. After I got her to bed and started to think about what she actually did, I got disgusted. And the more I thought about it, the more disgusted I got. I couldn't sleep at all that night and just got angrier and angrier the more I thought about what she did. That information shattered the whole image I had of her. How can someone do something like that to anyone? I'm going to be honest. After I heard her confirm what Becky had said to be true, it was like the love I had for her was being replaced with anger anger the more I thought about what she did. That morning, I just avoided her every time she tried to talk to me. I couldn't look at her. I didn't want to hear her voice. Nothing. It was like this the whole day. After thinking about everything again Saturday night, I came to the decision to break up with her because what she did is not just despicable, but what else has she lied about and is going to lie about? I refuse to live with that uncertainty in my life. Sunday morning, I sat her down and asked her again to tell me the story, and she stated the same story she told me Friday night. I told her I can't be in a relationship with her anymore. She broke down completely. All I could make out over her cries was the word sorry over and over again. The rest was just mumbling. I wasn't in the best emotional state at that moment myself. This is the woman I wanted to marry. This is the love of my life. So I called her parents and mine as well. I told them we broke up but didn't give a reason. I asked her parents to come and pick her up and asked mine to come because I was losing it myself. Her parents got to my house first. Her mom went directly to her to comfort her, and her dad asked me what happened. As soon as I said the words, "She made false accusations," he stopped me and said he understood. He asked me if it was all right to grab a couple of her things. He went into our room and got some of her things. While he was packing her things, Anna just kept asking me to forgive her. On their way out, her father said he would be in touch to come get her other things at a later time. I know I make it sound quick and easy, but all of this took about 30 minutes. An hour later, my parents arrived at our house. As soon as I saw my father, I completely broke down. I couldn't even stand on my own feet. He had to keep a hold of me. I literally cried myself to sleep while my father was holding me. This was the first time I was able to sleep since Friday night. I woke up to my mom cooking dinner for us. The first question was from my father, who asked if I was okay, and I couldn't answer him. My mother then asked what happened, and I just started to cry again. It took me 10 minutes to get myself together enough to talk to them. I told them everything. They sat in silence, with a look of complete shock on their faces. My mother asked if it was really true, and I told her Anna herself confirmed it. After that, we just sat in silence the whole night, with my dad constantly checking in on me. Monday, I woke up to my dad missing, and just my mom in the house. I asked her where my dad went, and she told me he left for their house, but will be back soon. Luckily, my mom answered my phone that morning when my manager called because I was a no-show at work. I got 2 weeks off at least. My dad came back later that day with his and my mom's clothes and a couple of other things because they will be staying with me for a while. When I wanted to object, my father told me he didn't want to hear it. About 16 o'clock the same day, Anna's mother came to my house and wanted to speak to me. My mother didn't want her to even come into the house, but I agreed to talk to her. Apparently, Anna is in a bad way. She refuses to eat and is constantly crying. Her mother asked me if I could forgive her and possibly get back together with her. They will even pay for couples counseling if that is what I need. My mother kicked her out of my house after that. I didn't even get a chance to respond. My phone has been blowing up from her. Our friends, her mother, and even some family members on both sides wanting me to reconsider our breakup, saying she did nothing to me and this was in her past. Although true, I can't forgive something like that. She caused her ex to lose his life and nearly caused his death. If she can lie about something like that, what else can't she lie about? What else hasn't she lied about? Almost everyone I know has been harassing me and calling me heartless for not seeing her pain, calling me an a-hole and saying that I'm a piece of shit for holding something she did in her past over her head, that I never truly loved her if I can end things just like this, and it's starting to get to me. My parents are still at my house, so I asked my dad what he would do. He responded with one question: "Do you think you can forgive her?" When I said no, his response was, "Then that is the end of it. Everyone else can go screw themselves." Update just to clarify something that I see coming up in the comments. She was 18 at the time she made the false accusations. I don't know if she apologized to the guy. After they moved, they completely disappeared. I know his name and the names of his parents, but can't find them on any social media platform, which led me to believe they changed their names after moving. I want to thank everyone for their support. Some of you have even sent me messages of support, and I appreciate it a lot. I took some advice from a couple of you and just booked a session with a therapist. I need to get my thoughts and feelings in order before I do anything. I've also decided to take some time away from this house because everything reminds me of her, and I will be staying with my parents after the 2 weeks are over. Update 2. This will most probably be my last update. I want to thank everyone for the advice and support. It has meant the world to me. I talked to a lawyer to see if I can get a restraining order against Anna for the constant harassment from her side and everyone who supports her. It turns out I can, and I am in the process of filing for one. I have blocked her, her mother, and everyone who has been harassing me over this, and my dad is handling her mother from now on as she seems to have something against my mother. I also found out the reason her father was so calm was that Anna confessed everything to them the same day she told me, so he knew already. It was very quiet this weekend, but Anna tried to come by today, and I called the police. They removed her and told her not to come back. I have also started individual therapy to get everything in order, and I feel a lot better than I did the day I made the first post. After everything, I know this is for the best. She is not the same person I fell in love with, and I will not spend my life walking on eggshells around her, wondering if she is going to do something like that again. I have a long way to go before I am completely myself again, but I'm taking it one day at a time. It's shocking how one person's lies can destroy so many lives. Our last story brings us to the workplace, where false accusations take a different but equally damaging form. Story 3. Make inappropriate false accusations to HR. You get fired. Instead, I-34, male work in semiconductor, and recently a female employee, 22. Female was moved to my area. Being in semiconductor, we're a little isolated from the other departments and floors, so the only time we actually see other people outside of this area is in the break room. We're a very tight-knit group and get along very well. We're always talking about what we did over the weekend, things we do, things we like, etc. However, we all know the boundaries of one another and don't cross those lines. We all have work phones, and the company tracks everything on them, including recording phone calls. There are always cameras in our work areas and break rooms. The female employee who got transferred here was fairly new to the company. She is a cute girl and an absolute flirt to all the guys here, so she got along with all the guys here very well. We have cameras everywhere, so everyone knows not to be inappropriate with each other or even make advances because they will be recorded, and there is a zero tolerance policy. Any form of inappropriate behavior will get you terminated. So, like everyone else, she is a bit flirty with me. However, I'm in my 30s, married, and very happy in my relationship. However, because we're in a fairly isolated area, I had to train her on how to use some of the equipment we use here. During training, she is her flirty self. She would be touchy-feely and getting up close and personal, as in trying to rub herself against me, touching my chest and face, which I politely told her not to do. And I put some distance between us whenever this happened. Over a couple of months, she got more and more flirty and touchy-feely, which I avoided. I never reported her to HR, as we're in an isolated area with no witnesses, and I was afraid she might try to say something if I did. She was just very flirty and touchy-feely with me, so I did my best to put distance between us while training and helping her. One weekend, she noticed that I went to a local park to play basketball with some friends. I did not invite her, and she was furious. Monday, I got to work, and she was nowhere to be found. She didn't call in, she didn't text, nothing. I tried to call her work phone, but she never answered. I tried calling her again the next day, and nothing. I was starting to get worried about her. I tried again the third day and got no response. I got sick over that weekend. I had a fever and felt like absolute garbage, so I called out of work. When I got back, I found out she had reported me to HR, saying I asked her out multiple times and got mad when she refused. She also said I was being mean to her and that I was saying inappropriate things to her. HR said she had to take some time off and go home because she was extremely uncomfortable. I denied all her accusations and asked for the evidence she had against me. She said she was unable to provide any text messages and just said I verbally asked her out multiple times. I requested HR pull the security cameras and check my work phone, which I had on me the entire time, to see if I ever said or did anything inappropriate. HR checked everything, and I even provided screenshots of her being flirty with me and even apologizing to me for slapping my chest and calling me sweetie. She would constantly ask me for hugs and to go hang out with her, which I would always decline. HR took 2 days to go through the camera footage in my work phone. They discovered nothing inappropriate on my end, and I had to give a formal statement on the things I found inappropriate that she had done to me. I went into full detail about the flirtatious things she said and did, and handed HR the screenshots of her messages to me. HR concluded their investigation and fired her for making false accusations and trying to get me fired because I refused to hang out with her over the weekend. I was so stressed out over everything that happened that I felt like I had a panic attack. I have never had someone try to falsely accuse me of anything and was afraid my life would be ruined. It took me a while to finally calm down and relax once everything was settled. Conclusion: false accusations can have devastating consequences, whether it's personal relationships, mental health, or professional life. It's crucial to address these issues seriously and ensure justice for those falsely accused. Thanks for watching Roundup Reddit. If you found these stories impactfully, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. Stay informed, stay safe, and see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you have any stories or topics you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay strong and take care.